budget bets. Here's how we did last week. Rachel. Who's gonna win the Super Bowl? What's your Super Bowl prediction?
No one's gonna win.
No one's gonna win? If you got the Panthers and the Broncos, who's gonna win?
Broncos.
What's the score gonna be?
9-9.
That's a tie. What's the score gonna be?
9-5.
9-5. Broncos win 9-5.
Yeah.
All right. Welcome back, low rollers, to the Super Bowl edition. Budget bets. It's a little bittersweet, you know. We're excited for the Super Bowl, but unfortunately, this is it. This is it. So now I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do every Tuesday. Probably actually spend time with my family.
Ooh, I'm so sorry about that. We might have to come up with some other kind of low budget just to keep us away from that.
Anything,
yeah.
You know. But anyway, as you know, I'm Ray.
I'm Dean.
And we're gonna talk about the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Obviously, as of right now, Tuesday, Carolina is favored by 6 points. Against the Denver Broncos, of course. The over-under on the game is 45.5. Dean, I'll let you lead in and see where we go.
You gotta want, for all the sentimental reasons, you gotta want to pull for the Broncos. You got the Peyton Manning, the last go-around, Cam Newton, the brash up-and-comer you want to root against. And plus, I've told Ray about this, but my theory is if I don't have a team that I care for in the Super Bowl, I generally root for the underdog. So inside, I'll be pulling for the Broncos to win, but the head and the better in me says there's just absolutely no way you can go with it. Carolina just has too much, and it basically all starts and finishes with Cam Newton. He said it himself, and I can't disagree. There's no quarterback like him, and there isn't. We tried to come up with comparisons, Brett Favre, Dante Culpepper, and none of them just accurately encompasses everything the guy can do. It's going to be more than 6, and even the over-under on the game,
45.5.
45.5. I can see Carolina putting that up themselves. It's going to be lopsided. It's going to be one way. I'll root, the other way, but I just can't see it any other way but that. What do you got?
I am not in any way, shape, or form pulling for the Broncos. I hate the Broncos. I have hated the Broncos my entire life.
It's
a large part of that has to do with the drive and the fumble and John Elway and his stupid horse teeth.
Yeah.
That in a league that prides itself in parity, the Broncos have been good, or certainly a playoff team, virtually every year of my life. They had John Elway for all those years. They had a few decent years out of Jake the Snake Plummer.
Jay Cutler.
They had a couple decent Jay Cutler years. They even had Tim Tebow win a playoff game for him somehow.
At least it was against Pittsburgh.
It was against Pittsburgh, so that was nice.
Yes.
And it's something that as a Browns fan, I can't really ever talk trash to a Steelers fan if they're a legitimate. If they're a legitimate Steelers fan, I respect that. If they're really from the area, if they grew up, or they're a second generation, removed from the area or whatever.
There's 10, 15 of the real ones out
right,
there.
there's a handful, but majority of them that are just bandwagon jumpers. Yeah, I will never forget that Tim Tebow.
Well, most of those guys though are Seahawk fans now.
Yeah, they're Seahawks. Well, now a lot of them probably have bright orange Broncos or bright,
Carolina. I'd say Carolina.
The baby blue Carolina
They're the
jerseys.
Carolinas.
I will fully enjoy watching this being Peyton Manning's last game either way. I will enjoy.
I don't think it's going to be.
If he somehow, some way, has a good game, which good games in the postseason for Peyton Manning are rare. I just don't see a good game in the postseason for a guy who's can't untie his own shoes. Carolina's pass rush is decent. They're not like as crazy as Denver's is. But I could see, either way he's going to ride off in the sunset as a Super Bowl champion, or he's probably going to get knocked into oblivion to the point to where he's never going to want to play again, or maybe not knocked on his back so much, but just have a really bad game, because against those DBs, against those linebackers, they're not going to be able to run the ball against Carolina. Somehow, we were just talking about this, somehow I feel like Carolina's defense is getting disrespected a little bit.
With all the talk about how good Denver's is.
How good Denver's defense is, which it is good.
Great.
But Carolina's defense has been awesome.
Not bad.
All year. Obviously, I don't really fall into a lot of the other kind of stereotypical type of things that you would view from my generation. A lot of, I don't know, I'm kind of on the border of a Y or a millennial. I don't mind Cam Newton, and I think it'd be hilarious if in a Super Bowl he played really well and still acted like a clown like he does half the time and gives balls out. I agree with you on the game. I think Carolina's going to blow them out. I would think. The over-under, I kind of tend to maybe want to stick with the under on it, just because it's 45.5, and I just don't see Denver doing much at all. And the fact that Denver's defense is also pretty good, they might actually test Carolina a little bit. But
the thing that would scare me, just based on all of the things that you said, is just look at the second half of the Carolina game.
Oh yeah,
the leads they've given up. So while their defense is certainly good,
sometimes they have problems finishing games. But they just played probably
against
their most
Arizona
complete,
wasn't one. Yeah,
they played their most complete
that
game in the NFC Championship. I just feel like they're just rolling. Getting back to Denver, I hate Aqib Talib. I hate he holds or has some sort of pass interference on virtually every single play. Just gets away with it somehow. TJ Ward is another guy I don't like. He's a former Brown. Seems like all he does is just drill people hard. Like, I'm not saying he's a bad player. Obviously, he's a good player, and I still wish he played for the Browns. But since he doesn't, I hate him. Who else? I don't know.
There's got to be a lot of people in the league that you don't like.
Oh yeah, I hate everybody.
Okay.
It ain't even an NFL related thing. I just hate people in general.
Okay.
But except for all my lower
and soon you're gonna hate Johnny Manziel.
Yeah, Johnny Manziel. I just heard about that. Yeah, he's probably gonna get cut in March. I'm devastated by the way.
I can see the heartbreak.
He was so good.
After all of that money you spent on the Manziel jersey.
Yeah, I bought 5 of them.
5?
I bought the new one. I bought the new away one.
Wow.
I got a throwback
the
Manziel jersey.
The throwback one?
No.
So one of the 1880s throwbacks? Or?
The 1880s
throwbacks?
The
1880 throwback?
No.
Okay.
No, I'll just, if I want an old number 2 jersey, I'll just put on my old Tim Couch one, and he was about just as good.
Wow.
Actually, Tim Couch was better statistically, a lot better.
Yeah. Lasted a little bit longer.
He lasted a tad bit longer.
Oh, yeah.
But Manziel will be another one of those quarterbacks like every other starter for the Browns. Once you're named the Browns starter, I think it's you got a 100% chance of being out of the league within the next 3 to 5 years.
That's the kiss of death.
Yeah, it's people think running backs over the age of 30 and blah. No, it's
Browns
starting quarterback for the Browns.
If
if they call you And so all you kids out there who are about to be drafted into the NFL, who I know you watch Low Budget Bets
every
week. So, if the Browns call you and they're like, hey, we're really interested in having some workouts, we're thinking about drafting you with the number 2 pick, just don't answer the phone, run away as far as you can, or tank your scouting combine numbers, or just do something, start drooling all over the table when people are asking you, questions, or when you're doing the Wonderlic. Just avoid the Browns situation, okay? Whatever you do, just stay away. You do not want to be drafted. Anyway, getting back to what I was saying about Denver. I love when old school axioms are proven true, especially in football. The thing with college football that I love is when we say, oh, we got the East Coast bias, or I've even heard Midwest bias about Big Ten and stuff like that. And it's like, well, if you look, the SEC has run roughshod all over everyone for a while. You had the Big Ten there, Ohio State won a national championship a couple years ago. But it's like, well, that's because, there is no bias. It's a fact. The teams from the East beat down the teams from the West. They don't play flag football like the Pac-12 does sometimes, yes, like the Big 12 does sometimes.
Yes.
But what I love is, the whole defense wins championships, right?
Yes.
And obviously we have 2 teams with great defenses. We have 2 teams with great quarterbacks, potentially, too. I mean, obviously Peyton Manning wasn't great this year at all. But could somehow return to form. But anyway, with that said, is you have Peyton Manning, who has every major regular season statistical record for the most part in terms of touchdowns, yardage, all that stuff, which is great for the regular season. But when it comes time for quarterbacks to put up or shut up in the fourth quarter of big games, or just in big games in general, where the fourth quarter of games in the regular season, Peyton Manning statistically is awesome. But once you get in the postseason, he melts down and throws interceptions, over-prepares, outthinks himself. And I would just love to see one more time for Peyton Manning. You can call me a hater, and that's fine. I have a player hater's degree. It's on the wall over here, just out of the shot. You can't see.
Can't. Right there.
But I just love to see Peyton Manning just have a Brian Hoyer type game. Throw 4 interceptions, get knocked around, look like he doesn't know what he's doing.
Well, here's where I think you're wrong.
Okay.
And stuff. So, just like you said, Peyton Manning, holder of every regular season record for the most part that means anything. He's got it and stuff. So, and then playoff times comes, other than the one Super Bowl year, which he didn't have a great Super Bowl and stuff. But
no,
they won.
And that was,
they won.
Up until this year, that was the best defense. I want to say the Colts defense that year, when Bob Sanders was healthy, they were the number 3 defense in the league or something like that year.
Now, this year, he's stunk. Just like you said, basically put up
he did nothing.
The Hoyer type numbers
he did nothing.
The whole year.
Yeah.
Did nothing. The whole year. More interceptions than touchdowns. Only 1 touchdown at home during the regular season. Anything that you can think of. But then again, this is where he turns it around. So this is where the
what?
Well, hey, it's a feeling. It could happen. You don't know.
Hey.
And stuff. So I told you I was going to be rooting for him, and I'm not happy about it. I grew up in Denver. I just like you with the Elway horse teeth, which I couldn't, stand, and never thought I'd ever be pulling for the Broncos to win anything. Yeah, what do you think about that, Rich? Pulling for the Broncos and stuff. So, but yeah, no, they ain't gonna win and stuff. But hey, if they did,
probably not.
No, probably not. But if they did, it would be something like that. It would be because of Manning will have to play for the Broncos to have any chance. The Denver defense will show up. Whether they can fully stop Cam Newton, I doubt.
Well, another thing I could see though too, for Denver keeping it close, obviously would be turnovers. If for some reason,
special teams points, defensive points.
If for some reason Cam Newton throws a couple bad passes, or
doesn't even have to be a bad pass, tip ball,
or some fumbles or whatever, just because the Broncos defense gets after it,
Yep.
then I could see it being closer. I mean, obviously the football fan in me says, bottom line, I hope it's a good game.
Yeah, of course.
But I could see, I mean, the last time Denver was in the Super Bowl, you know, you had the snap over Manning's head for the safety, and that was, what was it, 55-8, I think the final score was?
That was bad.
Yeah, I could see that happening, something like that again. But,
many of the 80s, 90s Super Bowls not close. I think we're going back to that this year, yeah.
Could be. And Carolina looks like a team that, I mean, their core players, they could be
There for
good
a
for a
while.
while. You know, whereas Denver, this is kind of,
This is it.
might be it for them, you know.
This is it.
Especially, we'll see.
We will.
We'll see. What else?
I got nothing.
Got nothing?
I got nothing.
I want to thank all the low rollers, obviously, out there for watching every week.
Couldn't have done it without you guys.
Couldn't have done it without all the dozens and
That's
dozens
right.
of views that we've received.
We couldn't have gotten all of these great sponsors.
Yeah.
we don't have any.
Yeah.
And stuff.
We
But
tried-
next year, bigger things
We
are
tried
coming.
reeling in Bud Light.
We did.
That
We
didn't
did
work.
try.
We tried
No, it didn't work.
reeling in
Heineken,
No.
bastards. Didn't
That's
like
all right.
it either.
You know, we'll
next
we'll
year,
get something.
Next year, it's coming.
Maybe we'll upgrade some cameras and some microphones and stuff like that. Get some medium budget bets
Oh, yeah.
or whatever you want to call it. But really though, thanks for watching every week, and hopefully, you know, it's been a lot of fun.
It has.
It's been fun getting together and doing this. Obviously, you know, thanks to my wife Lauren for putting up with it, letting
Thanks,
us
Lauren.
just screw around for a couple weeks. Thanks to your wife.
Thanks for letting me out of the
Karen
house
for
and stuff. So.
letting you come over and
It's true.
record and talk about football.
I know, baby. It's hard to be away from me for these 2 hours a day, but
Yeah, something like that.
yeah,
Um,
I'm sure she's hoping it continues.
Yeah,
So.
and I guess thanks to Dean too for coming and doing it. There was a point in time where I was going to do this with another guy, and things kind of fell through, and kind of ran the idea by Dean. Was kind of bummed out about it, letting him know, I was going to do this low budget bets thing, didn't work out, blah blah. And he's like, well, I can do it with you. And I
Step up.
said, oh, there you go.
Got a little bit of a personality. you
Yeah,
know,
well, more so than I do. I'm just like a robot, you know. Unless I get ranting.
Well,
about
so,
things.
yeah, or your Cleveland Brown rant,
Yeah.
quarterback
Talk
rant.
about
That
Cleveland.
had a little personality to it. just
Those
so you know,
guys,
so.
I tell you.
Alrighty.
Anyway, I guess that's going to do it for
Yeah.
this year
This
of
year.
low budget bets.
Enjoy the Super Bowl. Like I said, we'll look for you guys next year. That's a wrap for this year's edition of Low Budget Bets. We'll look for y'all next year. Until then, I'm Dean,
I'm Ray.
and we'll see you next year on Low Budget Bets.
Bye.